Hey everybody, what's up? Just got off the water today here at Table Rock Lake. Had our fish the moment on the water jerkbait lesson. Went pretty good. Caught quite a few today. Caught some nice walleye today too on Table Rock. But hey, it just reminded me. I just wanted to do a little quick segment here pertinent to Table Rock Lake because I got thinking about it today, and the people that I took fishing today on the trip, we were talking about the same thing because they had fished Table Rock quite a bit in the past before, and the topic came up. It's like, what happened to all the big bass in Table Rock Lake? And I got thinking about this, and back when I first started fishing Table Rock Lake in my earliest memories, I remember my dad had used to take me down here. I was probably, I'm gonna guess, 6 or 7 years old, and I've got pictures, and I can remember Dad going down here with him. We'd go with he'd take me and one of his friends down here, and we'd come down, and they would throw. This was back in the late 1960s and the early 1970s, and they'd be throwing nothing but like those big white hellbenders, like the things you troll for stripers with. They'd throw them on a spinning rod. Fiberglass spinning rods, I remember, probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 pound test line. And I can't even count how many big bass they used to catch on Table Rock Lake doing that. And there's pictures of them. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 pound bass almost every trip we would go out back in the late 60s, early 70s. And then when I started fishing Table Rock Lake a lot as I got older, I joined the Big Mo Bass Club in the late 70s. We fished Table Rock all the time. And there was a period from about 1979 to 1983 that I fished Table Rock constantly. And there were so many big bass in the lake back then. I can almost guarantee, and my buddies can verify this that used to fish with me, if you were fishing Table Rock Lake between like 1979 and 1983, and you were dialed into the jerkbait bite, which was the spoonbill rebel back then, or even the jig and frog, and you fished in February till the end of March, it was an exception to the rule, and it was rare if you did not catch a 7 pound bass on those spring days, those pre-spawn days down here on the lake. It's like if we didn't catch a 7 or 8 pounder, we didn't consider it a good trip. And so many days we went down here, if you had one of those blustery March days, say it was like, above average temperatures, 15, 20 mile an hour south wind, when things are alive and active, and like, particularly if it was heavy clouds, you were almost guaranteed to catch a 7 to 9 pounder every time. And what has happened is that slowly started to go away a little bit, to where, and over the years and over the decades and over the years, and I got thinking about it, and it's like, if you take the Alabama rig out of the equation for like the year or two that it was hot down here 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, it is rare for anybody to catch a 7 pound bass at Table Rock in a year's time, let alone on a trip. Most of the big bass down here now in the tournaments, they're 5 or 6 pounder will win big bass. And I fish Table Rock as much as anybody that doesn't actually live on the lake. I mean, I fish down here a lot, and throughout the course of the year, I catch a lot of 2 to 3 pound bass on the lake. 2 to 3 and a quarter, 3.5 pound bass. But the number of 5 pound plus bass I catch on Table Rock Lake, it's just not that many, and it's been like that for a long year. And the question is what has happened to all these big bass that Table Rock used to have? And even back in the early 80s when I was fishing the lake, it's not like it was a new lake, and it's not like the lake goes through cycles or anything. The lake was still 30 plus years old even back then. The habitat's a little bit different, but the thing that I got thinking about it is during that time frame back in the late 70s and early 80s, that was the time where everybody kept bass and mounted them. If they caught a big one, it went on the wall. And the only thing that I can figure is a lot of those, maybe the big bass genetics got taken out of the lake. The big ones get taken out when they get caught. The tournament pressure over the years gotten more intense and more intense. and you just don't see those big bass anymore. You know, and it's not like Table Rock has had a lot. It's not like Table Rock is a lake that has had a lot of habitat beyond, you know, some standing and submerged timber and whatever, you know, rock cover and, you know, that type of thing. So anyway, it's a big mystery to me. I mean, I think there's some reasons behind it, but you know, it's not good. It's not good at all. I wish we could figure out some way to reinstate the quality fishing of the big bass that used to be here. And you know, the only thing that can really have a big impact on that is some type of a length limit change. If you know, I know a lot of the lakes across the country, Lake Fork and a lot of those certain lakes that have these, you know, big slot limits in it, those are the trophy bass lakes. You know, would it work here? You know, probably would work. But anyway, that I just wanted to run that by everybody, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I bet a lot of people out there that fish a lot of the lakes across the country know what I'm talking about. I know that all those guys that fish Lake Eufaula in Alabama, Lake Seminole, that place used to put out giants all the time. Lake Toho in Florida, you just don't see that anymore. I remember seeing so many pictures of 10 to 12 pound bass out of Florida 40, 50 years ago that you just don't see anymore. And, you know, fishing pressure, you know, whatever's causing it. But anyway, just wanted to run that by you guys. Just after today on the water, it just made me think about it. And shoot me some comments. Let me know if you guys, you know, share my opinion on this, or if you guys have any thoughts about it, or if you guys have experienced that on your lake. I'd be curious to know. So anyway, just a quick little YouTube video here. Talk to you later. See you.